Welcome to the fight game with Icewater and Puma. And I guess we should start out with the Estrada Gomez fight that's happening on the 3rd. And what can you tell us about this particular fight, bro?
Yeah, Juan Francisco Estrada is a very tough customer. And they go up against a legend in Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. They fought twice already, going for the third time. Uh, Chocolatito is a legend because he's 30 some years old, way past his prime by so many, but dude don't stop, man. And to go in and to beat Estrada the way he did in one of the fights, who's a lot younger than he is, says a lot. And you just never really know. You're saying, is this Chocolatito's last fight?
Hmm.
Is he kind of is he burnt out? Is it? When you think that's it, he kind of come out like Manny Pacquiao, but instead of just thinking that he reproduces, he produces. So he's an older guy, and they have had some wars. They both like each other. They fight hard, and if nothing else, you should watch it because it's going to be full of action. The question is, who's going to, is it Chocolatito's time up, or is Estrada going to go? I'm still as good as you might, as I tried to show you before. It's going to be a hell of a fight. I know I plan on watching it and checking it out because they have not disappointed me previously in the other two other two fights. It's kind of like, in a way, watching Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez.
Okay, that's what I was going to mention because you're making it sound like that was their third time. You look at the tail of the tape, Estrada has 42 wins, 3 losses, 28 knockouts. And you have Gonzalez with 58 wins, 3 losses, 41 knockout. When you were talking about Gonzalez, could this be his last fight? After 54 fights, gosh, I mean, what else do you have to do at that particular point? Anything else folks should know about this particular fight? And you already sold me on the fight. I'm gonna watch it. So anything else?
Yeah, just the standpoint of you like action fights, right? I mean, Chocolatito, you mentioned he has over 50 fights. Dudes keep going. Somehow or another, he keep getting back in the ring. And not only that, he comes in and he fights, and then you go, well, this guy's a lot younger. He should be able to test him because he's going to have the stamina. And just you get a young guy in there, you thinking, oh, he knows what's going on. They had one guy, I think about 3 fights ago for Chocolatito. Guy was kind of like undefeated. He was a heavy puncher. Thought he might do some damage. And Chocolatito has a way of moving around. He's always busy. He just always comes forward. He doesn't headbutt you, nothing like that, but he has a style where he's kind of ducking, moving, but he's always moving forward constantly. And he just brings in a barrage of punches. And either you're ready for it or you're not. And if you try to match him like that and try to fight his fight, about around round 7, you run into some major problems because it's like Energizer Bunny. He doesn't quit. He just keep going. His face is all tore up. You're like, man, that old man needs to get out. But he just come out, and after the fight, no matter what, he gonna be smiling. Even after he lost the decision, the last time to Estrada, he had a smile on his face, like, I'm getting paid, and I know I whooped your ass.
Now, I might be reading this wrong. The next fight I want to talk about is the Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora fight. This seems to be a kind of a tune-up fight for whoever's going to come afterwards to fight Tyson. They're both from the UK. And to me, it just seems like this is going to be kind of like a tune-up fight for Tyson Fury. I'm not sure how many fights that Tyson Fury has in him because he's been in some wars. And I'm not sure how long he's going to wait for, of course, Joshua to come or Usyk to come to him. But what are your thoughts about this particular fight? Because I kind of see this as kind of like a tune-up fight that Tyson Fury should kind of walk over this guy pretty easily. But I could be wrong.
No, I mean, I think you're right on point because when you think about it from the standpoint, this is their third fight. This is their third fight between the two of them. So Chisora knows the deal. He's a tough customer, but Fury has shown you that he is the top of this division. And I think he wanted to stay busy because I think he wants to be more active, maybe get a better fight, a bigger fight in 2023. I think you really wanted to fight somebody of substance before the end of the year, which means Joshua or Usyk, but Usyk's been hurt, something to that effect. But when he couldn't get the fight, he's like, well, I still need to fight because I need to be ready. I want to come in here cold. So, of course, who they go into, and Chisora is the one thing about him is I think he's pretty close with Anthony Joshua. And I think they're like friends and they're real cool. So when he's talking all that stuff, Fury, that is about things and about Joshua, boys like, nah, that's not true. You know, I don't care about you. I'll fight you. I don't care what it is. But I think that it's more of a tune-up because Fury wants to be busy and active, and he wants to show the world that he still has it. And now you open the door, whatever he wants to do. I would love to see him fight Usyk, right? I would love to see that, or Joshua. But I like to see Usyk because Usyk has been very good, but I think it's going to take a lot more. Usyk will not be able to just come in and outbox Fury like that. Right. At some point, the one thing that Anthony Joshua could not do to Usyk was put a serious pounding on him. And Fury would do that because he's mobile enough and he's going to hit you. If that guy can hit Deontay Wilder like that, what the hell you think he's going to do to a blown up cruiserweight?
Yeah, that's true.
Once you catch him and put his hands on him, oh my goodness. Yeah. So yeah, I'll watch it and then hear him talk about it. I just hope that if he's going to stick around, Fury that is, that he fights somebody of substance. Okay, we got the Deontay Wilder thing. They're now saying that if Deontay Wilder fights Ruiz, right? And then the winner of that to get the winner of this fight. But I mean, just give me somebody of substance. I'll take Joshua, and he needs to work. I'm glad he took some time off where he can find himself again where he really wants to fight. That's when he's best. Or have somebody else like, I'd say the fight I'd love to see Fury will be against Usyk for all the belts.
So we have 3 fights coming up with some star power, of course. Austin Trout is fighting on Friday. You have Telefino Lopez fighting on Saturday, the 10th. Also, you have Terrence Crawford and his fight on the 10th. And the Trout fight is on the 9th. Which one do you want to start out talking about? Because I'm looking at Terrence Crawford. He's calling out a lot of folks. But I'm like, dude, sign your name on the bottom line and fight somebody at this point. Enough talk, just fight.
Now, I was going to ask you, is that Trout, is that the kickboxing thing he's doing, or is that the real fight? I don't know what you...
Basically, it's on ESPN on the 9th against Jose Sanchez Charles in Jalado, Texas. So it's an ESPN fight. Not sure if it's I don't know if it's a kickboxer fight, but it sounds it's in the boxing category. So that's where, I'm going to say it's boxing, super welterweight, 12 rounds.
Okay, well, I stand corrected because I saw him in some type of kickboxing thing he was doing too. So anyway, but start with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford has said a lot of things. A lot of people coming after him because they said he couldn't negotiate the fight with Errol Spence Jr. But as I told you before, I think part of the reason why the fight didn't take place this year is because Paramount didn't really want to give Showtime the money. It wasn't in the budget for it. So no matter what they said, somebody else was going to have to back the fight. And Terrence Crawford, not having a promoter, couldn't do that. But the one thing Terrence Crawford did do, he said he's not going to wait on him. Spence, that is. He went out and found somebody to back his fight. He found somebody else to back his fight. And I think he's going to get, no matter what, close to $10 million, which is probably one of the biggest purchases he's ever had. So he's going to get straight cash for fighting somebody that a lot of people may not know about. He's going to take it till he can decide what's going on next. I did find an interesting thing because I want to give much love to my guy, Brian Custer, Ohio native, doing this thing. But he had, on the last stand, he had Terrence Crawford on there. One of the things I found interesting about that is that as with the interview broke through, Terrence Crawford said he's definitely interested in fighting Errol Spence, definitely. But he said that if it don't work out, because I guess one guy he just does not like, there's a chance that if he doesn't fight Errol Spence at 147, he would go to 154 and fight Charlo.
That's what he says. And so,
He
he does
said,
a lot of talking with these top line guys, but it's no action to it. So I'm starting to kind of go with Crawford. Okay, man, that's you talking again. His next fight's going to be in Nebraska, in Omaha. I'm like, come out in Omaha, man. Come on, Omaha. That's why you ain't making no money. Come on, fight in New York, fight in Vegas, man. All your fights are in Omaha, man. So nobody's really interested in that. And so all this talking and like, big smoke, no fire, man.
yeah, and I can see that. So I mean, but then I think this game, this fight really is about the money. It really is. He wants a major payday. He wants to be the A side. I think the money's already been pretty much guaranteed. They're saying that his opponent already has received his money. So, the BLK Sports, whatever is going to be promoting this. I think that Terrence is like trying to get this paper. He wants to be the A side, so be it. But that's what you're going to do. But Errol Spence is not pressed because he is the A side. He's working with Al Heyman, PBC. I think they're going to get ready to fight Keith Thurman because we're saying now the WBC felt like they owed Keith Thurman something. That's why they put him up in that slot. And that's probably the biggest money fight outside of Terrence Crawford for Errol Spence would be to put out there with Keith Thurman. So a lot going on. We just hope that 2023 brings us a lot better, more entertainment. One other thing, real quick, we had a fight recently. Was Regis Prograis defeated Jose Zabetta and to win the 140 super lightweight welterweight championship. And Prograis is a good fighter, knocked him out. But what happened afterwards was very interesting. Prograis was scheduled to get a purse of $1.2 million. And he had a kind of a new entertainment group that was promoting it, Marv Nation, under the auspices of Legends Entertainment. So normally right after the fight, they said, okay, we're going to give you $1 million for you go boom, boom, boom. So Prograis goes to the bank and the check bounces. And he's hot. He's livid. The check bounces. We're talking about top-notch, world-class fight sanctioned by the WBC. And now the rumor was it's out there that the check bounced. So whoever was in charge of it has rectified it. Apparently, the champion has received 50% of his money today. He's supposed to get 50% of it tomorrow.
Wow.
But that's bad business.
Yeah, it is. Next fight, Jose Pedraza against Telefino Lopez. And Lopez is going up against a veteran fighter. This guy has 29 wins, 3 losses, 13 knockouts. Lopez has 16 wins, 1 loss with 12 knockouts. Should this guy be careful? He's fighting a guy from Puerto Rico. Should he be careful with this opponent here?
Yeah, definitely got to be careful. But Teofimo Lopez is trying to make his way back, okay, after he lost his titles. And, he got a lot of love when he beat Lomachenko, right? And then he came back and he lost to, trying to think of the gentleman that, what's the name off the top of my head, that Devin Haney went over twice to beat.
Yeah.
He lost his belts to him.
Kambosos.
So, yeah, Kambosos, thank you. So with that being said, Lopez is really trying to find his way back. He would love to have a rematch with somebody with Haney. He'd love to fight Haney or some other people, but he's trying to get himself back. So with that being said, he's going to be trying to look to not take the guy lightly, but he's trying not to have a slip up. Because if he takes another loss, particularly to a guy that may not be considered one of the top level guys, even though his record is very impressive, it's going to set him back. Because 140 is popping up. I was mentioned about Prograis there. Some other things, other guys are coming up. Josh Taylor's of the world, right? Tank Davis possibilities, a lot of great fights to be had there. So with that being said, Teofimo Lopez cannot afford to have a slip up. Because if he does, then they're going to be looking at him like, if you thought you had to work your way back up, before, lose again. Probably to a guy that you're the favorite, you're the prohibitive favorite and get in the ring with.
Okay, let's grab another fight. Where you have Paul Butler versus the Monster on the 13th. I know we're going to be talking about that in the next 2 weeks. The Monster is undefeated with 19 knockouts, fighting Paul Butler, 34 wins, 2 losses, 15 knockouts. I'm not giving Paul Butler any chance to win this particular fight, even though he's the veteran in this. The Monster's pretty nasty. And if those of you who haven't seen the Monster fight, he is a pretty nasty fighter, and he means business. And I'm pretty sure when it's all said and done, he's going to be in that top 3 of pound for pound fighter in the world.
Yeah, the Monsters, Noe is a tough guy, tough customer. He has dominated this division for quite some time, right? The way that the last time that he fought a rematch of Nonito Donaire and he demolished him was amazing. But in Paul Butler, the one thing I'll say about this, Paul Butler is a tough guy. He's going to fight real hard, and he's not going anywhere. So the Monster's going to have to come at him strong. The Monster also is moving up in weight. So he's been very comfortable in this little cocoon and fighting guys down there. But now when you come up in weight, there are some challenges for you, and you're going to see better talent. So that's what I always wanted to see him move up and fight somebody a little bit bigger. And he's trying to do that now with Butler. But then again, too, I think I told you earlier off air that there's a chance that if he keeps moving up and is comfortable moving up, there might be a chance where he could meet a catchweight with another legend that he's coming into a legend, but a guy that's legendary would say, I think I'll go down and fight him. And that's Lomachenko. I would love to see that fight. And it's safe for Lomachenko because he thinks he's going to have the other hand because he's bigger. And it keeps him away from that 140 and all those other guys I just mentioned earlier. He really don't want all of that. So if he can go down a little bit and be safe, but how can you be safe getting in the ring with the Monsters, particularly when you're an older guy? I think it will be a hell of a fight if they can get in together. But first, it starts with the Monster taking care of Paul Butler.
Okay. There are a number of fights I want to check out. There anything else that you want to say before we end this particular episode?
Just ladies and gentlemen, get ready. We hope we're on schedule. The boxing world is on schedule to bring you some dynamic fights in 2023 on all different levels. If you're a boxing fan, get ready. I just hope they come through like they're supposed to. Even when you mentioned about Terrence Crawford and then Errol Spence Jr., a lot of times they will hold off because they want to build up the purse. They want to also build up the interest in the fight. And I think that will happen next year. They both won it. But things like that keep going on and on. And pay very close attention because you're going to want to buy into watching these fights because the action is going to be great with these matchups. Finally, been waiting a long time with COVID and everything for some action to happen, some really good fights. And then it's going to, because there's the talent out there. First of all, let me tell you, talent is out there. And once you see these guys start coming together, fighting one another, like it used to be back in the day where Sugar Ray Leonard would fight Hagler, but he also would fight Hearns, and Hearns would fight Hagler, and back and forth. That's what we're missing. We need some consistent movement and some quality matchups that make you go, damn, I want to sit down and watch that because both of these guys are good.
He's Icewater, I'm Puma, and this is The Fight Game.